I got to kick this thing off. Can I kick it off? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ladies and gentlemen, listen.
Conversate with Us Radio presents the Man Listen Show. We are the blackest radio show on the internet. We bring you our opinion on topics that affect the Black community in an effort to enlighten, enrich, and empower every brother and sister that falls under the sound of our voice. We operate on a no-hating frequency, so be prepared for us to keep it 100% real and 100% Black all the time. Please follow the show on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Man Listen Show. You can subscribe to the show on YouTube. Click that bell icon so you can be notified of upcoming episodes. Leave a comment, share the show, let everybody know about the blackest radio show on the internet, the Man Listen Show. I'm your host, Mark B. Let's bring the crew in. You know, I always forget to tell people to go to our website. You know, you go to www.manlistenshow.com. Listen to past episodes too. Make sure y'all do that and, you know, listen to us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, all that stuff, you know. But just me and Enrique today. What's up with you?
What's up?
It's all good. It's all good. So we're going to talk about Atlanta, Fulton County. The president, the former president, Donald Trump, got arrested. You see his mugshot?
I did. He looked exactly how I expected him to look.
They said he looked like one of the villains on Home Alone. What I was tripping off of is how he talked about he was 215. Boy, you ain't seen 215 in over 40 years. If not more than that.
I guess they do let you lie about your weight. They don't have scales in jail. Matt, I had to just run back through my memory.
I mean, listen, you know, I've never been arrested. I've never been in handcuffs. So I don't know. I mean, you would think that you clearly couldn't just like grossly lie about how much you weigh. Like I couldn't go in there saying like, yo, I weigh 170. You know, they
might be like, bruh, but they eyeball it though. So basically what they do, so I've been told.
Well, you are an attorney. You are an attorney and you have represented criminal clients, so yes.
Whatever, but yeah, so when you go back there, they just be like, they do like a personal inventory. They be like, where do you have tattoos? You show them where all your tattoos are, how much do you weigh, how tall are you? They don't really like be like, nah, show me your stomach. I think you got some stomach tattoos. It's not really like intense like that, because I mean they just doing booking. They don't care. Gotcha. So it's not that intense or serious. There's no scale, there's no anything like that. It's just more of like a questionnaire, and you give whatever answers you want to give, and they can laugh. Yeah. And when he said 215, they might have chuckled on the inside.
Yeah. What killed me, they were showing like famous actors like Jason Momoa and like Tom Brady and other athletes, and they were like 6'4", 215. And of course they was all, you know, cut up and ripped. And then they showed Trump playing golf. You know, he got his high pants on with a gut and big old butt. You know, they're talking about he's 6'2", 6'3", 215. Like, come on, dude. Like, yeah, come on, bro. You more like 315.
Said the math ain't mathing.
Yeah, more like 315. But so Trump was arrested, him and 18 other co-conspirators for election tampering, election rigging. I almost said it. I will get back to why I said rigging, but election rigging. So, you know, when he lost to Biden, of course, he tried to say that, you know, there was people who were trying to fix the election, and he called the Secretary of State and said, I need you to find 11,000 something votes so that, you know, they could overturn the decision that Georgia turned blue, right? And they voted for Biden and not for Trump. Well, that's election tampering. So Trump was indicted on that. Him and 18 co-conspirators. Now he's got like 7 or 9. He's got like 7 cases going right now. I think 6, and then another one pending, and it may be 9. But like he's got one in DC for election tampering. He's got like the one in New York which is a black district attorney in New York, or state prosecutor that's going after him in New York for fraud, for like his financial records and everything. So he's got like several counts going against him, and a lot of them felonies. So a lot of people were happy about this. I mean, of course, we got jokes about Trump, having to go through the hood and because Fulton County is in the hood in Atlanta, right? That's mainly the hood in Atlanta. Is that true?
Fulton County is the city proper.
That's the city. Okay, so there's a lot of hood. There's a lot of gentrification. There's a lot of hood in city proper.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of everything. You can't afford to live there. I mean, most people.
Right. Yeah, I got you. I hear you.
Not the good parts.
Yeah. So a lot of people had jokes about it, but then a lot of people say it's much to do about nothing because, I mean, I've heard, I don't know how true it is, that a former president can't be prosecuted. I don't see why not, but what you think? Do you think this is much to do about nothing, or you think he might be in some serious trouble?
He's in trouble for sure, but how much, I don't know. I mean, I think that the person who said it best was that what's important to note is that he hasn't been charged with treason. So if he had been charged with treason, then I would say he's in the most possible trouble he could be in trouble with. But he hasn't been. Nobody has ventured to go that far. So basically, you have a few prosecutors who are like, he made some phone calls that night, which we're all 100% sure he did. Like,
oh, they had the recording. They had the recording in Georgia when he made the phone call. Yeah,
and so it's like we're all 100% sure that he made these phone calls. So they're going after the cases that they can win. I don't think anybody is confident that they can win a treason case, but treason would be based on the insurrection. Like, so I mean, I would go.
That would be a federal charge, though, right? You can't state.
Right.
Yeah. So.
But that needs to come from DC anyway, because that's where it happened.
Yeah.
So, I mean, all of that is on DC, but like you said, it comes from these Black prosecutors who are basically like, we have the facts, we have the evidence, we have the proof. Not pursuing these cases is basically, them not fulfilling their job duties. So they have to go after him. They have to pursue these cases. How much trouble is he in? I mean, I don't know. I don't even know. Election tampering, felonies, yes, but most people who commit their first felony get probation. So it's not like we're looking at Trump serving years and years and being locked behind bars and all this other stuff. So I don't think there's.
You say that. Huh? You say that, and I agree with you somewhat. Mm-hmm. But when we talk about the Fulton County DA, Fani Willis, right? And I saw a whole bunch of people talking about pray for this sister, pray for her safety, and that's cool. I get it. I mean, I get it. I don't want to see any Black woman harmed at all. There's some Black women who I don't rock with, and she has done some things in the past in her prosecutorial career that I feel is somewhat funny style. I don't know if you remember back in like 2012, 2013, I think it was around that time, there was a lot of teachers, principals, school officials who were tried. Remember the whole testing scandal where they took, they took like, they was going after the superintendent because they were allegedly, well, not allegedly, because they were, they were convicted. They were fixing the testing scores. And she went out to him with a RICO charge because the superintendent was receiving a bonus because the testing scores went up. And when they did the research, they was like, statistically, this ain't even possible. Like, they ain't even like cheat, like, kind of like, we're going to cheat.
Realistically.
They just like, man, if we're going to cheat, we're going to cheat all the way. But then you start finding out how like this pressure was coming from the top down, and these teachers, these principals, these administrators were being charged. And a lot of these people were Black women teachers, single moms, and they were, being charged with a RICO case. And, a lot of people felt some type of way about that. They're like, why are you going after these Black teachers for cheating on a test score? You're going after them for a RICO charge. Now, most of them pled out. I think like 12 went to trial. 11 of them, got convicted. So they did. I think the most they did was like 7 years. Some did like 1 or 2 years. or what have you. But a lot of people felt some type of way about that. So I just bring that up to say, number one, to talk about her history as a prosecutor, because, you know, a lot of us knew her from, you know, because she was, I don't think she was in the forefront, but she obviously wasn't, you know, the head of the district attorney's office at the time. But when she came into charge of the district attorney's office, that's when she started going after YSL and Young Thug and them, and she became known for that. Now she's going after former President Donald Trump. So, you know, a lot of people may be conflicted, because that I was conflicted by her going after those teachers. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was too much. I thought it was a reach. I understand you trying to protect the interests of the children, but you going after Black people like that, like, come on now.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a difficult area because on the one hand, it's like you can't just like pick and choose what crimes you're going to prosecute when you're a prosecutor. If somebody brings the case to you and you're lead prosecutor and the evidence is there and the case is there, you can't just be like, yeah, but no. So you can't really just be like,
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, you say that, but they do though. They do. I mean, we talked about it in the book, The New Jim Crow. And you correct me if I'm wrong, because you're the attorney. They said the most powerful people, the most powerful person is the prosecutors, because they decide if they're going to take it to trial, if they're going to plea it out, how much they're going to accept on the plea deal. They are the most powerful people in this system.
Right. And I understand that. And I completely agree with that. But at the same time, you can't say, hey, here's this valid case. And then I just be like, yeah, but they all Black teachers. I'm just going to dismiss it. So where I would want to know more information is what was the deal that they were offered? Because if they were offered like 6 months probation and then it comes off your record, then they should have taken it instead of going to trial. I get that they didn't really feel like they were wrong and they were pressured and everything, but I mean, you were cheating.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying that I don't support it.
I guess my biggest piece when you talk about that though is making it a RICO charge. Like, I don't know.
What else was it going to be though?
That's hold on. Let me finish. I don't know, because I'm not an attorney. I don't know if there's levels to the charges that they can bring when you have something like that. Like, I feel some type of way about them going after the rappers, YSL with RICO. Like, because I feel like when there's a RICO charge, basically you can just say, you know what, it's a conspiracy. We can just throw whatever we want into this, whatever person, any associate, what have you. And it's our discretion, you know, because like, okay, you know what? You used to drive Young Thug around, you part of the RICO case because you was associated with it. I just feel some sort of way about the leeway that these prosecutors have when it comes to the RICO case. You correct me if I'm wrong, especially when they're applying it to Black people.
I think there is, like you said, a lot of room for argument as far as how much reach they have with that. But at the same time, you can't tell me that you driving Young Thug or whoever around for 6 years and you ain't never seen him commit any criminal activity, or you haven't been, you know, associated, affiliated in some type of way. It's a reason they trust you. It's a reason why you're there. And I'm not saying that everybody that you come in contact with is associated with the criminal association, but if you're involved for this many years, so on and so forth, and they're connecting you to it, it's a reason.
I know you're feeling the show, but picture your ad right here. If you want to advertise with us, hit up the link in our bio and we'll get you on the show.
When the feds come for you, they come with a whole big stack of file of all the things and associates and all the times your name has come up in association with somebody else. So usually when people like, how did my name come up in this? It's because somebody put your name in it. Like, you don't want to admit that, but people talk and that's what they do. And then they talk and they mention your name, and they didn't just say, hey, we're gonna just include Young Thug's driver in here. No, somebody was like, well, it was me and so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so was driving. I just don't think people really understand how much people talk. Like, people talk to their own disadvantage all the time.
Well,
That's all they do.
my mama told me, listen, don't do nothing, don't do a crime with somebody else because you can't tell on yourself. And if you tell on yourself, you ain't got nobody to blame but yourself. So, I think that this case, I'm not sure, I don't know if it's politically motivated, because I brought up those other cases because she is a dogged prosecutor. She is all about the business and all about, law and order and pursuing justice. So I can't say that this particular case is politically motivated. I think maybe the other cases may be politically motivated, but I do think that, Trump did do what they're saying that he did. Now, I do think that our concerns for her safety are warranted. We know that the Republicans can be diabolical. Trump started an awful rumor about her because, allegedly she had represented one of those YSL dudes back in the day when she was doing defense work. And so Trump said, well, allegedly she had an affair with a gang member. So he said she had an affair with a gang member, and it's got real sexist and real racist. And they put out an ad about it as well. They put out an ad about it, allegedly Trump had, giving his, those rallies that he has. And I think that's foul, going out to that Black woman like that. For sure, it's foul. But she put out a memo to her office. She said, hey, you all are not to speak about this. Do not feel the need to defend me. Just do your job with excellence. So she's really, about
the
this.
book.
I definitely wouldn't want to be in the state of Georgia and have her coming after me, because this is clear she don't play no games. But it's a mess because the former mayor, Keisha Lance Bottoms, there were some protesters who thought, or some racist people who thought they mixed up Keisha Lance Bottoms with Fani Willis, and they were heckling her and, saying, negative stuff to her and accosting her. And it's like, yo, this is something that really needs to be taken seriously.
Yeah. I'm like, for one, this highlights our point that y'all are racist. You can't even tell us apart. And these are famous
right.
Black women.
They look nothing alike. Nothing. They don't have the same hairstyle. They have the same complexion. A little bit. They don't look like they're the same height. I mean, I've never seen them in person, but they look nothing alike.
Nothing. They don't care. They saw a Black woman who looked like she had some pull, and they didn't know what to do with themselves. But I mean, I think that's the point, is that the issue is because regardless of whatever cases she's pursued, it sounds like everybody she's pursued did what she said they did. And so all she really has done is her job. And Black women, my mom's been telling me since I was born, you got to be smarter, faster, stronger, more resilient. You're going to have to work twice as hard, run twice as fast, do twice the work just to get the recognition. So she probably really has taken on some of those cases and pursued everything as stringently as she has, because she really feels like she doesn't have a choice, because she's going to get more criticism if she gives anybody any leeway than anybody else would. So she's in that position of power, but it's got more strings to it than somebody else.
She's received some criticism, and
she should.
And I feel it's been just. There were some police shootings, some cases for police brutality that her former boss, these cases were investigated by the office when he was in charge. She was a part of the office, and she made the decision, hey, listen, something happened in terms of how this investigation went down. I think we should refer it to someone else. Now, a lot of people think that's funny style because they feel like it's giving these cops who were brutalizing Black people a way to get out of being prosecuted. So she's not 100% clean. She's not. But I do feel that we as a community, we do owe this woman the benefit of the doubt. I can see where she felt as if she was protecting those of us who needed protection when she was going after the educators that were falsifying the test scores. I don't agree. I don't agree with the scale in which it was pursued. I don't know if her hands were tied and that's just, how they had to do it. But I'm conflicted on that one. So I'm gonna give her a pass. With the YSL gang members, the rappers, allegedly gang members, we've talked about violence in the community and how it affects all of us. We talked on the show, I think almost all of us has lost someone to, violence and black on black violence. I hate to say it, like that, but it's true. It's black on black violence, but not to pathologize our people because whites commit violence against white people, Chinese commit violence against Chinese people, but it's something that we need to address, the violence in the community. And I see where her going after that to try to protect those in the community. I can see why she would feel that cause is just, I do. So I support that sister. But I'm also going to criticize her when criticism is due, when she's letting cops off for not, doing it for brutalizing black people or not doing their job appropriately. So Trump might be in trouble though. He's got the case in DC, and the prosecutor was trying to go to trial. He's trying to pick jurors in December and start the trial in January. Well, Trump tried to say, well, let's start it in 2026. Let's start it in 2026 after, obviously after he's, the election. But what they're going to do, they're going to start the trial right before Super Tuesday, like dead smack in the middle of the Republican primaries. How do you think that's going to affect them?
I think it's going to be a nightmare. I think who was it? Christie said, I think the problem is that the parties are not willing to turn on Trump, as we saw in the debate the other day. Most of them are not willing to say that they're not backing him or they're not on his side. Most of them are not willing to say that they're not willing to be his vice president. So that means that they're all really riding the fence and essentially still dick riding this dude, hoping that he gets the nomination and they could at least be, on the ticket.
Yeah.
So I think that the fact that even the candidates are still hoping that he's going to get the nomination shows that the Republican Party is really still hanging their hat on him. And if he's embroiled in at least one, if not more trials, and I don't know if they can suspend some while the others are going on. I don't know what they have going on because there's so many different
it's like four or five that should be going on around the same time, and then he's got potential for 2 or 3 others. It's like it's a mess. Like he got like 91. I think I saw 91 counts against him.
Yeah. And it's like they're all using essentially the same blueprint. So like he's in trouble. And that means that the Republican Party is in trouble because they're not willing to distance themselves from him because they don't want to alienate his fan base. So they still got to be like, well, if Trump was here, I'd be willing to back him, but he's not. So vote for me. They're all still pandering to him, but he's in trial. Yeah. It's really, really ridiculous. But
I saw a couple, I think DeSantis was going after him because Trump, threw some shots at him, and Chris Christie, threw some shots at him or what have you. What we saw in the last election cycle, when he was going against all the other primary candidates before he got elected, they were willing to go after him. But once it's like, hey, listen, we can't beat him, then the dick riding started, right? Because they wanted to be a part of his cabinet. There was nobody worse than Ted Cruz, his sorry ass. The dude that talked about your daddy, talked about your wife, and you still endorsed him. But I think that the base of the Republican Party, the racist, super conservative part of the party, they are still inclined to go for Trump. But the old school Republicans, they realize he's a problem and they don't like it. They understand that through Trump, they can move their agenda along. Because, hey, listen, all different things that we're dealing with now, with affirmative action being rolled back, abortion rights being rolled back, We see our votes, our voting being attacked. A lot of that's not just Trump. A lot of that was the Democrats falling asleep at the wheel, right? Letting these Republicans take over these state houses, and they're putting in these laws where like the three people the three Democrats in Tennessee, when they're speaking out against the legislation that they're being put in, they're censoring them, saying they can't talk. They kicked them out, then the voters had to put them back in. All of this is because the Republicans fell asleep. I mean, not the Republicans, the Democrats fell asleep at the wheel back when Obama won, and they was just like, oh, look, we, yes, we can. Yes, we did. And they was just like, okay, watch what we do. Watch what we do. So I think that the Republicans are willing to hold their nose. But I think this might invigorate his base, though. I think they still might turn out and vote for him. I don't know if this is going to siphon off enough votes. This might make him like, the victim, when they say, oh, it's the corrupt political system going after an innocent man. It might invigorate them. I don't know. But I'm going to tell you this. I don't think Trump could beat Biden. And I know a lot of people talk about Biden this and Biden that. Biden's ancient, Biden's old and all this. I'll be honest with you, man. Biden's actually doing stuff that is positively affecting my life. It is. I know several people who had their student loans canceled, Black people. I wish I could get some of that love. I wish I could get some of that love, you know what I mean? Because, hey, September 1st, the interest starts coming back, and, listen, good luck, y'all, because, I ain't got it. But look, y'all done went 3-4 years without my student loan payment. You don't need it. You don't need it.
They didn't went my whole damn life without my student loan payment.
You done went this long without student loan payment. You don't need my shit. Nah, leave me alone.
You doing that at all? That ain't even a thing. You might as well pretend I don't exist.
Right, but I just got an email where they were adding certain prescription medications to the Medicare negotiation. So basically, Medicare can negotiate the cost. One of them is a medication I take. I have atrial fibrillation, so I take a blood thinner to help keep me safe. And it is a ridiculous amount of money for that medication. So now that's on the list for that, healthcare people to negotiate. I don't know if it's going to affect somebody like me because I'm still young, but if you're on Medicare and you're older, and that really this condition affects older people, that matters. And we talking about insulin and different things that are on that list. That matters because we saw where these manufacturers, these prescription drug manufacturers, they're making a killing off insulin. And who has a ton of people who are diabetic? Black people. So I say that to say, no, Biden isn't perfect at all. And I can find a lot of flaws in Biden, in his past and in his current track record. But he showed beats Trump, in my personal opinion. And he damn sure beats DeSantis. DeSantis is the one that I think
DeSantis is the one I'm scared of.
And you remember I said that on the show. And you and Lab was like, nah, I don't think DeSantis can do it. No, that motherfucker is crazy. He's young.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He's crazy enough to actually spark some people. I don't know that he could pull it out. Not over Trump. But if Trump gets kicked out the way, I don't know.
Look, if Trump,
but they love Trump.
If Trump is locked up in Fulton County, he can't run. DeSantis is
that's what I'm saying.
That's going to be a problem.
That's definitely going to be a problem. But
that's going to be a problem. Yo, don't worry. We're going to get back to the good stuff. But before we do that, make sure you go to our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter @ManListenShow. If you want to donate to the show, go to our Cash App, $ManListenShow. Now back to the good stuff.
I don't know. I mean, I don't disagree. I think Biden has done some good things. And I would actually venture to say that Biden's cabinet has done some good things. I'm old enough to know that the president is not the one actually making all the parts move and do all the things that we wanted to do. But also, I think that the problem with Biden is that he doesn't have the people's confidence like he needed to have. The people who don't understand that Biden just needs to delegate the task to the right person. Like when I was in the 6th grade and I was like, everybody was like, oh, Clinton balanced the budget. And I was like, oh, this is great. And then you realize, no, Clinton hired somebody that balanced the budget.
Yeah.
Like you got a good accountant over here that did that. And you're like, oh, wait a minute. He's just like the boss of a corporation and he just hires people to do the jobs that he wants to get done. He's not the one actually doing all of the jobs. So, but like for people who really think that the president is the one who needs to be like doing all of the things, they really don't have confidence in Biden to do those things. And then
but I just think that we're at a stage where we don't have any margin for error. Like they are aggressively going after trying to make us second-class citizens again. And it sucks because Hillary wasn't somebody that I really cared for. Biden wasn't somebody that I really cared for. But when you talk about, do we want Biden in office or do we want Trump in office? Trump put 3 Supreme Court justices in office, and you got DeSantis and the Republicans in Florida basically trying to sabotage the black vote. They took like a district that was full of black people that was consistently going to vote for Democrats. They split it in half just to take that power away. The other way that you can really combat that is to escalate it, get it up to the Supreme Court. And look, they got a supermajority in the Supreme Court. So they're able to push these things through. And the only way that we're going to be able to continue to battle it is by keeping a Democrat in office. And it's a hostage vote. It sucks. It does. But all these people talking about, I've seen some of these rappers like, it was Styles P. He was being interviewed by that dude Torre. Styles P was like, I preferred it under Trump. And I was like, what? He was like, yeah. Well, the point he was trying to make was, I would rather deal with a racist who I know is racist, who is, just loud with their racism, versus somebody who doesn't act like a racist, but is still a racist. I get it, but he wasn't able to articulate what he was trying to say. So thankfully, Torre was like, you're not saying that you support Trump. You're just saying that you would rather deal with somebody who is overtly racist than somebody who is covertly racist. And Styles P was like, yeah. The problem with that is we got way too many Negroes who get their information from the Breakfast Club, go back to our past episode, right? And from these rappers. And they're not able to decipher that, okay, I would too rather deal with somebody who's just overtly racist, because guess what, motherfucker, I don't like you either. But you got to be savvy enough to say, like, no, we're not better under Trump than we are under Biden. Like, come on now. But the problem is these little bitty sound clips keep going around and folks are being fooled. And all they have to do is trick just a few people. You see, when Trump was going out to Georgia, what did he say? I only need 11,000 something votes. That ain't a lot.
Not in Georgia.
Not in Georgia. And you got rappers talking this mess and all these black folks in Georgia? Come on now.
I wish we would stop asking rappers, athletes, and musicians about politics.
Who
cares what
I agree on that. I agree. And we talked about that, right? Like, why aren't we getting the political scientists? Why aren't we getting our economists? Why are we getting our information from like Draymond Green and Styles P and Charlamagne the God and these different, like, you're like, I don't like to shame people, but there's another YouTube show and they go hard and paint out Charlamagne the God, and I don't feel the need to defend Charlamagne the God, but they like, why are we listening to Charlamagne the God when he got a GED? And when you went, and if you look at South Carolina and you getting your GED, you only have to have like 1 hour of civics. Why is he having political discussion? It's hard, but it's fair, right? Like, okay, what's this dude? Now, I'm not so elitist to say like somebody who does not have a high school diploma can't be intelligent enough to have a sound discussion.
Yeah, I believe in self-education.
But I agree with you. You know, I've said it before, but then we start walking that fine line when it comes to just shut up and dribble.
Yes,
You remember when that
but
white was it Laura Ingraham said to
yeah,
LeBron James, just shut up and dribble? Like, I mean, but
see,
at least
and
be
I
informed. But these cats don't even seem like they informed.
but that's the thing. I think there's a difference between allowing these people to have opinions and then putting them on a platform to have political discussions, right?
Mhm.
Because if I say, hey, who you voting for? And you say, I'm voting for this person. That's totally different than me bringing you on a political show to talk about the state of politics today and you play basketball. I'm a lawyer and I don't want anybody bringing me on TV to talk about the state of politics today because I'm not deep into politics like that. I don't know all of the political positions of all of the people and the State of the Union and all these other things. I want you to have people with this information, with these backgrounds, with these interests, with these degrees, with these self-taught information, whatever. But I want people whose focus is politics to speak about politics.
And I think those people are out there. They're not getting the
Yeah,
shine that they need. But
exactly.
here's the piece, though: the way social media, right,
Mhm.
and the way entertainment goes, that algorithm dictates what people see. So
Yeah.
even if we had only those folks going on these shows that were talking about, okay, here are the ramifications of what could happen if Trump is put back into office, would the people still even see it? Because what are we being fed? We're being fed what's the Sukiana and Sexy Red, Pound Town. We're being fed ratchet ass music like that. We're being fed Krishan and Blueface and them fighting and beating on each other and treating each other low down. And then we're seeing like rappers who have their opinion and you're right, you have your right to your opinion, but when you have a platform and you know people are looking to you and they will take your opinion as somewhat credible because
Hmm.
you are a celebrity, there's a responsibility that you have to be informed before you say something like that. And I would
Hmm.
even venture to say that I'm gonna give a shout out to Torre. I'm not a big fan of him, but I'm gonna give a shout out to him for leading Styles P down the road to further explain so that it wasn't just that soundbite where he says, you know what, it was better under Trump than under Biden. Like, come on, man. Like, you really can't believe that.
You can't leave it like that, at least. At least explain so that people understand what you mean.
Yeah, for sure. For
I'm
sure.
like, oh, but you know what? I saw your boy on Sunday
Who's that?
and I was Ice Cube. He performed here.
Okay.
When I tell you it was a all white festival and Cube, and he had the crowd chanting NWA. And I was like, oh, we are hop, skipping a jump away from somebody saying something they don't need to say. We about to be up in here.
What did he have him say? He had him saying the word.
No, just NWA. But I was like, we getting close. What are we doing here?
Did he do fuck the police?
No,
Shocker. Shocker.
no,
Shocker. Come on now. Did,
no.
did he do any of the old cuts? Like, did he do any of his militant cuts?
I mean, I'm not gonna pretend I'm an Ice Cube fan. I couldn't name a song prior to him playing Today Was a Good Day. And I was like, oh wait, that's my song. But other than that, and it's Friday, but no. I don't know what he played. He played like one or two, but they was mostly on the typical, of rap back then, misogynistic,
Yeah.
whatever, gangster rap type, nothing militant. And so
But
I was just like, you want credit for 50 years of hip hop? Boy, you part of the problem. You're so problematic.
well, I mean, here's the thing though. And that was what's so disappointing about Q, that when he left NWA, because even NWA was problematic. I mean, I said it on the show. I said it on the show several times. I think I'm the only one, shocker, I'm the only one that takes a stance. I was the only one that said I didn't go see the NWA movie. Remember me saying that? I said I didn't go.
Yes, I do remember you saying that. I don't remember you being the only one to take a stance in all the years of all the podcasts, but yes, I remember you not going to
On
see
this
it.
show, I am.
Bullshit, but okay. We take stances.
Who don't want to take a stance against the NFL?
Oh, you mean you be over here boycotting and protesting and things like that?
Who's the only one to take a stance against the NFL?
That's two things.
Okay, they matter, right?
The only reason why I said I'm not taking a stance against the NFL is because I didn't watch it anyway. I was like, you can't protest something you didn't watch. So I didn't feel like I would be really making a stance. It would be more performative, which I don't do. So
okay, all right. Well, we don't want to get into another argument like we did on the last show. So I'm just gonna get back to my point. Here's the issue that I have with Q. Yes, Fuck the Police was very I can't say militant, but I'm gonna give that particular song. It was militant and it spoke about a system, right? A system that plagues the Black community all over the country. But then NWA had a bunch of super misogynistic, terrible music. And I've always said that I recognized as being a young man that came up in that time frame, how we went from rap being more bubblegum. There was some stuff that was, they talked about drugs or whatever, but NWA really, really just changed the tone of rap. And I saw the effect that it had on how Black men like myself, how we looked at women. We went from just saying, oh, there was a bunch of skeezers there. There's a bunch of honeys. There's a bunch of fly freaks, where it was still like, we talking about women, but it was still not 100% disrespectful to be like, hey, I went to the party last night. How many bitches was there? Was there any hoes there? Like, we wasn't talking about that stuff until NWA came out. We wasn't doing that. So I saw the effect that it had on us. And I'm going to give a shout out to Tank, the R&B singer. He went on Drink Champs. And, you watch Drink Champs, they go for a long period of time and they drinking and they get drunk. And at this point in time, Tank and Nori was both a little bit lit. But Tank made a profound point when he talked about how R&B is dying off, but R&B is being killed off. Why? Because our love is revolutionary. I always say on this show, we're much stronger together, Black men and Black women. So when we loving one another, it's a wonderful thing. But now, again, going back to what they promote, what are they promoting? The dysfunction, right? The hate between us. Podcasts like ours, where we talk about Black love, coming together, being unified. You don't really see us being pushed by the algorithm. The shows where we arguing and we going at one another, yeah, the algorithm will push it. When we talking about, no, this is how we're going to be a collective community and we're going to unify and we're going to actually, this is how we need to address those who are trying to hold us back, we're not going to get pushed. So to see Q go from that to when he left NWA to he's down with Farrakhan, he's down with Khalid Abdul Muhammad, he's against the crackers, he's like, I'm down with the fruit of Islam, I'm doing all this. So then he goes Hollywood. Okay, get your money, Q, right? He goes Hollywood. Now you on Tucker Carlson. Now you doing all white shows.
Trying to get his talking points across.
Come on, Q. Come on, man. So just to bring it all the way back, I know I'm going on a rant, which well, just me and Erika, so I got the talking ones today. But she said just a little bit, forget you. See, that's the stuff. Listen, I look back to the last show and we was almost done. And I was like, my normal line, well, I think we talked about it enough. And you had to get one more wisecrack in. And that kicked off 16 minutes of pure debauchery of us arguing.
No, it's my fault. I single-handedly caused that argument.
I was trying to restrain myself because we went there and I said, I ain't gonna go there. I ain't gonna go there. And
I thought about coming on this show with my bonnet on.
oh Lord, listen, it just been me. I did the intro and I'm like, let's bring the crew in. Well, y'all, just me today. Ricky came on with a bonnet and I ain't having that shit.
Last week I got muted. This week I'm gonna get video muted.
I ain't mute you on the show. I'll mute you after the show. But anyway, listen, shout out to Fani Willis. Godspeed, sister. I hope that they have plenty of protection around you. Obviously, you're doing a job that is thankless. You're going to get criticism. That's part of being a leader. That's part of being in that position. But I am glad to see that you are applying justice equally, not just going after those in our community, but those who are in power trying to use that power against us. So
manipulate the system.
Shout out to Larry Elder. With that being said, I think we talked about it enough. Make sure you go to our social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Man Listen Show. Go to our website, www.manlistenshow.com. Go to our Instagram. Click the link in our bio. You can get gear like this. Definitely needed to support the show. And I think that's it. We'll have you next time. Peace.
Peace.
Shout out to
seeing live. I beat you.